this is 365801 and this is my manga and book haul for the month of December 2023. So as you can see, it's not a huge stack, which is pretty good, and I've actually only picked up a few things through online shopping and the rest I actually picked up elsewhere, but I'll get through that. I've got one pre-order and kind of a mix, a real mishmash actually of things. But yeah, it's not a lot in terms of the manga, which is on the right hand side, or graphic novel I should say as well, and some prose. It's not a huge amount. I'm very happy about that. I did not massively actively try not to look, but I just was like, you don't need to, just don't. And then when I was having a bit of like just have a wee look, just have I'm a bit bored, have a wee search around. I did find a few things and I ended up getting them, but they were all really good prices, but I'll talk about that as I go through them all. But yeah, so I'm happy about what I got. I haven't been able to read all of it yet, which is a shame because it is coming to the end of the year and I'm not going to have the time to read it, but it will affect my overall stats for the year too. And I'm sure I'll go through that when I actually do my stats videos, which I'm kind of looking forward to. It's going to be good. I don't have much time left to be able to read these, so a lot of these are going to be things to read in 2024, which is weird to say already. But yeah, happy that this is my last little haul, not too much. And some of them I'm not going to be counting towards my BL anyway, because they're not BL. And that means it's going to be an okay stat year. Hopefully, we'll see. Anyway, let's go through my pros first of all. So here are the pros. None of them are male romance as far as I know. Who's to say? I don't. But yeah, I picked up one from a charity shop. I have some more charity shop things to go through as well. This is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I know that this was a really big seller last year. It was one that a lot of people liked. One that did get nominated for the Goodreads mystery thriller, and the sequel ended up winning it this year. So when I saw it in the charity shop, I thought, why not? For £2, that's pretty good. I ended up seeing the sequel in the works, but I didn't feel like I should get that until I've read this one and seen if it was any good. But this is probably just going to get added to my big pile of stop buying books you're not going to rush out and read straight away. I'm going to have to do that next year, like make a real effort not to buy these things when I see them, which is pretty, yeah, I should have done that already. Anyway, I then went into the works, and you can tell I was in the works because I left the stickers on just so you can see. Plus, it tells you the price. So they've got their sale on because it's after Christmas, and I had a good time shopping with family, just wandering around, not really actively shopping for anything, but just hanging about, and not vlogging at all, just being in the moment and being with family. It was nice. And while I was there, I accidentally picked up Babel. I didn't really mean to, like I saw it and I was like, oh, that's nice, and oh, it's the only one there, and oh, it's only £5, and this was a big one, and I've seen, this was a really big one as well last year. Everyone really was very much this was like one of the big sellers, R.F. Kuang, and it is a dark academia one, and I do have a little stack of dark academia titles that I haven't read yet, like the Secret History and things like that. So I really feel like I've got enough to just do like a whole just reading dark academia book video, so that might be something I do next year. And I also picked up 2 festive Christmas murder books. They were only £1 because it's after Christmas. These are by Ada Moncrief. I have no idea what they are, but I love the look of the outside. They're very sort of like Agatha Christie 1920s, 1930s kind of aesthetic style, and I really do like that. And if I don't read them this year, that's fine. I've got something to read for next year, and I do want to sit and enjoy these kinds of things. I always say that next year. Next year, I'll do that next year. But yeah, you got to take the chance where you can. I do want to read more murder mystery, and I'm feeling like I might want to do more like Agatha Christie books and stuff like that next year. That might be a plan. So yeah, I might make it a reading goal. But yeah, I want to read more of my murder mysteries because I do enjoy them, and I picked up some good ones for very, very cheap. They were only £1, so I'm happy about that. I will see. I don't know anything about Ada Moncrief or what these kind of books are about. I can always have a wee look on Goodreads and find out. But yeah, things to read for next year because I'm probably not going to read them this year. Now, on to what I picked up in a charity shop. So yeah, just when I was getting the house made, I spotted Beast Complex Volume 1, Fire Punch Volume 1, and Candy Color Paradox Volume 1. Now, I know what you're saying. You already own a Candy Color Paradox. What are you doing? But I just couldn't not get it. It's BL in the wild for cheap. Plus, it was just like, manga, yay! It's been a while since I've seen manga in a charity shop that is just sitting there being like, hey. And they moved it in a different spot, this particular charity shop. I have purchased from before, but not very often. It used to be a different one. But I love the charity shops. They don't all stay open all the time. But this particular charity shop I do like going into to find books. But they did have these on a different shelf. And when I spotted them, I was like, oh, okay, dope. You're coming with me. For £2, I think that'd be pretty good. I can just sell on Candy Color products. I can just do that. But it was just like, I had to. You know, it's just like, yay, the joy of it, even if I had already. But yeah, I haven't read Beast Complex and I haven't read Fire Punch. And to get volumes 1 means I can just read them and find out what they're like. So for £2, I think that's a pretty good deal. So I'm going to have a wee read of these probably in the new year. Candy Color Paradox. I don't know what I'm going to do. Why did I buy it? I don't know. It was just there and I was so excited. So excited. And so for £2, I just got the wee excitement. But yeah, I'll add it to my duplicates pile. Which I will have to do something about this year. I feel like 2024 is the year for doing something about that thing you've been putting off. And my big pile of duplicates will need to be dealt with. So I will need to sell them on and give them to good homes. But the Fire Punch one and Beast Complex I will read before I decide what to do with. Because they're kind of popular and I don't really read too much manga that's not BL. So yeah, happy about these. Only £2 each. Now, a pre-order that I got late for some reason. Amazon took forever to actually post it to me, even though everyone else was going, oh, I just popped in the shops and bought it. And I was like, well, where's my pre-order? It's supposed to arrive. And I do remember that Amazon used to be so good about just like getting them and posting them straight away. So some people got them the day of release in the mail. So they were already posted. But for the last few years, whenever I've pre-ordered anything from Amazon, I haven't got it or it's come super late. It's like they order a certain amount, and if you pre-order, that has no bearing on it. They'll just post them out until they run out, and then they'll be like, oh, we'll try and get you a copy. And it's like, what? So the first Scum Villain special editions I pre-ordered from Amazon. I didn't get one. The last, not the last one, but the second last one of I Hear the Sunspot, which was like Limit Volume 3. I pre-ordered that and it didn't come. It didn't come for months and months and months. There's been quite a few like junior manga titles I've pre-ordered from Amazon. They just don't get them, and I don't know if that's junior manga's fault or Amazon's fault. There's been like a couple of other things as well. They just haven't come if I pre-ordered them from Amazon. And I kind of feel like it's not really good. So I just don't think I will pre-order stuff. I mean, I did get this for a really good price. It was like £6. And I know you can get it for like £5.90 in the shops now. But still, that's fine. But if I'd known that though, you know, I wouldn't have pre-ordered it. I would have just waited to get it from the shop. But yeah, you can get this in the works, guys, if you want, for £5.98, which is pretty good. This is volume 5 of Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. I have not read it yet, so I do need to read this. But I feel like I should do a reread of volume 4 so that I feel like I'm refreshed. I know volume 4 is quite heavy and a lot of mental health issues and things like that. So I'm wondering what goes on in volume 5. Hopefully there's a bit of progress for Charlie. I haven't even watched season 2. Wow, I know. It was one of the things I was going to watch during the summer and I didn't get around to it. So I feel like I'm kind of out of the Heartstopper loop. Volume 5 was supposed to be the final one, but it has been decided that they will continue and have a volume 6 and that will be the final one. I feel good about it. And I'm just probably not going to get the hardback. I think I'm just happy with these paperback ones in my collection. I'm not going to go all out. Heartstopper's good, but it's not like, wow. For me anyway, personally. And I don't know if that's because it feels like I've read so much BL that Heartstopper doesn't have that same like hit of, oh, this is so groundbreaking. I'm like, it's not really. It's not really when you've read it all before. I do like the representation and the way that it's a much more of a modern take on things. So I like that, but for me it's not the same as I think for others. Plus I know Alice Oseman has said some really ridiculous things about BL and yaoi, whilst at the same time very much taking what I would consider liberal inspiration from Nojiko Hayakawa. So like slight side eye there, Alice Oseman. I still haven't read some of the books though, and I'd like to. But yeah, that's a few years down the line, I think. I will put them on my TBR in the future. But yeah, happy to read this one when I have a few minutes. So yeah, I think I was more excited when I pre-ordered it. Now it's arrived, I'm like, oh, okay, and I'll get round to it. Hopefully not. I will need to read it faster than some of the other things I've got on my TBR. Now I picked this up from Momox. I've just kept the sticker on because I literally just opened it up. And this is volume 3 of the Case Files of Jeweler Richard. Super happy to get this one because it's a great price. I managed to pick this up for £3.99. I was like, woo! So good. Also because I've now read volumes 1 and 2, so I can just go straight into this and read this volume 3. So I'm excited about this one. This one is one I'm excited about. And the fact that I got it for such a good price as well. I have looked at other online sellers and I know a lot of people are using Sci-Fire as well to get some bargains. If you've got codes and things like that, it's pretty good. I know that Tokyo Pop is having like a sale on at the moment, like 40% off and all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of like, oh, do I go for it? Do I not? Do I spend money on things that I want and that I will eventually get at some point? But then I come across this and I'm like, but you're doing so well. You're doing so well getting the bargains. And $3.99 is a pretty good price for a volume that you want that's fairly new and it's in not terribly bad condition. So yeah, happy about this one. I do want to get the light novels and they're probably not going to be as easy to get secondhand or on bargain sites and stuff like that. So without paying £10 for each one. So yeah, at least I can read the manga for a good bargain price. And thankfully Momox is always pretty good about selling good quality ones. So when they say something is good or very good, then you know you're going to get a good copy. And so yeah, happy about this one. And I'll be able to read this pretty soon. I will probably read this a lot quicker than I'll read the Heartstopper, which is maybe saying something. But I do enjoy it. So yeah, that's maybe what it is. My level of enjoyment. And I have read it fairly recently. So yeah, this is a really good one to add to my collection. Now this next one is one that probably doesn't need much introduction to a lot of people, although it's not BL. This is Blue Flag by Kaito and it's just volume 1. This was part of my 12 and 12 and I did pick this up so late and I have actually read it. I don't think I put it on my Goodreads, so I'm going to have to put it on my Goodreads. So yeah, this is just volume 1. If I'm honest, I didn't want to like this because I know that there's queer characters in this and it doesn't necessarily, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I haven't actually read it, so I can't spoil it, except what people have already spoiled for me, which is saying that it doesn't end the way that a lot of people want it to end. So in my head, I'm thinking it's not going to end in a queer way, because then it's going to be a disappointment for me. So I'm assuming it doesn't end queerly, which is sad for me. Because I'm already like, oh yeah, I can see who I'm shipping. But also at the same time, I'm probably having a good time. I really enjoyed it. I can see why this was like the precursor of everyone's favorite before My Love Mix Up. So yeah, I do kind of want to get the rest of the series now, which is kind of annoying. I have enjoyed it. But yeah, it was funny, it was interesting, it was sweet, it was very much high school vibes, and yeah, it kind of gave a lot of comedic relief with all of the artwork and the expressions and things like that. So yeah, 8 volumes, I think. I kind of put off buying it because I kept thinking, should I just buy the full set and maybe I can get it cheaper if I just buy all the 8 volumes from someone as a complete set, second hand, rather than try and get each volume as and when you can get it cheaply. Because the first volume, volume 1, I could get really cheap, and I picked this up for £4. So you know, it's not an expensive first volume, but it's the rest of the volumes, and because it is large print size, or trim size, I should say, it's like a little bit more pricey than other ones. But yeah, I did read this volume. One of the only things I read from this haul, and I really did enjoy it, and I do want to get the rest of it, and I do want to find out what happens next. But yeah, Blue Flag. It was a good one, and it was part of my 12 and 12. I will have to do a video on my 12 and 12 and see if I actually managed to do very well in it. Spoiler alert, probably not. But this one I read, which is good. Now, this was all, like all 4 volumes, the previous one and the next 2 and this one, I all got at the same time. So this was like the only time I actually did proper online shopping. And this was Merman in My Tub, Volume 2 by Itokichi, 7 Seas. I thought I had Volume 3 already, but I don't, so I need to pick up Volume 3. I have Volume 4 and 5. This one I picked up for £4.78. And it's in really good condition, so I'm happy about it. But I don't really have much to say about it because I do think it's going to be a bit tricky for me to collect all of the volumes. But when I see them for good prices, so less than £5, I'm probably going to be trying to pick them up just so that I can eventually sit down and read it all. I'm not even sure if I'm going to like it, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to complete it, but it is one that I always had on the back of my mind as one that I thought I would try and get as a 7 Seas one. And when they are cheap, like less than £5, I do think it might be worth picking them up. So yeah, this is me. This is the kind of title that is part of my collection, because I'm kind of like, okay, pick it up because it's cheap, it's secondhand, rather than go out of my way to buy. Certainly wouldn't go into the shop and see that and be like, oh, how much is it full price? No way. Unless it's a difficult volume, and I don't know which volumes are difficult. So yeah, we'll see if I can ever get this. If I do get it complete at some point, I'll definitely have to read it, but I can't at the moment because it's only volume 2. Speaking of volume 2s, we've got Hirano and Kagiura. This is volume 2, Sho Harusono, and I picked this up for £5.33, so it's still a little bit pricey, but so much cheaper than it would be if it was brand new. So much cheaper, because these are like £9-10, so it's like half price secondhand, and that's very good. It does mean, unfortunately, that I can't read it because I need to get volume 1. I already know, like, kind of these are like roommates, and they were roommates, so I know it's obviously the spin-off from Miyano. Miyano? Yeah, Sasaki and Miyano. So there's a lot to collect from this whole university world, and I only just started Sasaki and Miyano this year, so I thought I'd give this one a go as well because it's cheap. So I will have to pick up a volume 1 so I can actually read these 2 together, and then start the rest of the collection. So it's a good one. and for just over £5, it's pretty good. So yeah, unfortunately another one that I cannot read this year yet, but I will hopefully be able to pick up and read later on. And this is the final one to show, so yeah, it's a pretty small haul. This is Frog by Mary Cams, art by Pyong Cho. This is a dream spinner, like comic version of a Western male romance. No, they didn't make too many of these, and I haven't actually picked up any of them, and they've always been in the back of my mind of ones that I wanted to pick up. So the dream spinner comic versions of things, and I got this one for a bargain price of £4. I couldn't help myself. So I will have to actually write down the other ones and be like, okay, because every time I saw them, they were always around £15 or £16, and I didn't really want to pay that for it. But when it's £4, that's pretty good. So I will definitely try and see if I can get the rest of these Dream Spinner graphic novel comic versions of male romance, because I do enjoy them. I haven't actually read any Mary Cams. I know, she's like prolific in the male romance, and this is supposed to be a good one. So I had a wee flick through, and it's really interesting the way that the art has been printed on the page. There's a big border, and it's just interesting. So we'll see what it ends up being like to actually read. But yeah, for £4 I couldn't say no. So yeah, it ended up being, if you bought like buy one get one, a second one, such a percentage off, like not a lot, like 10% off. So that's why I ended up getting 4 at the same time, which I should have just bought 2 and then bought 2, because then I think it would have been a bigger discount. Never mind. Just realised that now. But £4 is pretty good for this one, and it meant that, I don't know, do I count this as manga, or do I just count this as, yeah, I should probably count this as BL in any case. Yeah, it's gonna have to go into my stats. So yeah, this is everything I got for the month of December 2023. 4 pros that have absolutely nothing to do with male romance or anything like that, and a graphic novel, I guess comic adaptation, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 manga. But 3 or 4 of them technically are not actually BL. Because I don't, like, Blue Flag is queer, but it's not BL. And well, I don't know about Beast Complex and Fire Punch. Let me know, or I'll read it and find out. Merman in My Tub technically isn't supposed to be either. It's just one of those weird monster ones that kind of people were slashable about. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't read it. So yeah, the Angela Richard isn't either. technically. So I got picked up 2, 2 BL, and one of them was from the charity shop. Hirano and Kagiura. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. There's one proper BL in there. But yeah, this is everything I got. It's not a lot. It's not a huge amount. And like I said, some of these won't count towards my statistics. I am going to have to sit down and properly do it all, total up the amount, do all my maths. It is fun, but it's also a little bit stressful, and it does take a bit of time. So we'll see how long it takes me. I've got a couple of days off before I have to go back to work after the new year. So yeah, this is my last little haul of 2023. I'm kind of glad I went back to doing monthly ones. I think it's a bit easier than doing huge, big seasonal ones. It was too much. It was too much. And monthly ones is good because it's kind of nice to just be like, I got 2 things, or, I got 26 things, It kind of keeps me mindful, I think, present in my purchasing and present within my collection. I'm more aware of what I'm picking up, because I have to do these videos monthly and actually sit down and go, what did you get this month, and how much did you spend, and what was everything that cost. It's actually pretty good to do that month by month, even though It can be a little bit like depressing at times when you spend a lot of money, or if you buy a lot of things and you're trying not to, because I'm trying not to. But yeah, I can't pass it up. I can't pass it up in a charity shop. I had to pick them up. So anyway, it's kind of been an interesting year, and I do prefer doing it to the previous year and then back to this. So I might continue doing it in 2024. Is what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at. But I will try and actually reduce it again. It's always my goal to not actually make these videos. Not have a reason for making these videos is my goal. But you know, we'll see. We'll see. I have to go through which ones I didn't read and all of that kind of stuff, and I'm kind of looking forward to doing those. So yeah, keep an eye out for my year in BL review videos, which will come in January, which they always do. And how much BL, which is always my favorite, or the completing collections one, which I don't think I've done very well with this year. We'll see. Started a love series. Yeah, oh. Even just thinking about making those videos, I'm like, oh no. But yeah, if you have been keeping up with my haul videos monthly, thanks. If you're finding them interesting and entertaining, I'm really glad about that. But yeah, so thanks for sticking with me to the end of the year, and I'll see you in 2024. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.